What is going on, Internet? This is JD coming at you with another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. I actually did this video yesterday, but there was some new stuff that came out, and there'll probably be new stuff today as well. So I'm just going to do this, and I'll add on as needed. I'll have smaller videos to go over everything. So what this video is going to be about, this is about what we've done in free agency so far. I'll give a grade for everything. Some things are just going to be a meh grade. I think overall right now we're kind of meh. We haven't got any big boomer bust picks. Which I'm going to go over that here in a minute. I'm going to go over our cap situation, see what else is still out there. Let me bring that up while I'm at it. I'll keep talking. So, hold on. NFL is still available. So, yeah. Give me 2 seconds. And I got one more website I'm going to bring up. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Okay. All right, so before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment on this video. It's good for the algorithm. Gets a lot more. If more people comment, it shows up in more people's news feeds whenever they search for Redskins. So really appreciate that. Get the channel a little bit more notoriety. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into it. So what I want to go over is all the moves the Washington Redskins have made so far in this offseason. Okay? Now first I want to point out the departures, as in guys we don't have on our roster anymore that left. So starting out, Chris Thompson, he's gone. Do miss him because I think he was a good Redskin. Problem was he can't stay healthy, and he's not going to be worth the money he'll get on the free market. Wendall, Smallwood, there's another one. Running back is kind of an iffy subject for us right now, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But we don't exactly have extremely healthy running backs. We have Adrian Peterson's older. He's usually pretty durable, but Father Time's undefeated, so could catch up with him this year. But we do have two guys coming off of injury who have very good promise. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But we let go 2 running backs. We'll go Dominique Rogers, that's an age thing. Donald Penn, which we could still re-sign him. He's still a free agent. I don't think we're going to get Dominique Rogers-Cromartie. There's a lot of reasons for that. New coach, new system. Colt McCoy, Case Keenum. 2 quarterbacks that never really panned out. I didn't actually hate Case Keenum. I think with healthy weapons, he could have actually done something for us last year. He had no tight ends other than like one game. And at one game, he had almost like 400 passing yards and a couple touchdowns. And he legit played very well in that game. That was against the Eagles. So with tight ends, I think Case Keenum could have done more. But tight ends, and then all he had pretty much all season was rookie receivers. But he went to the Browns, so good luck to him. I actually don't have any ill will towards him. I think he played pretty well for us, so not going to downgrade him or anything. I hope he does well. Hope something happens where he gets an opportunity to play and start and things like that. Trevone Hester, I don't know who that is. Defensive lineman. He might have played a couple games. Eric Flowers. I'm a little upset about that. Redskins gave him an opportunity. They converted him to a position that was more formidable to his talent, and he went somewhere else, which maybe the Redskins just weren't going to match it, or maybe just didn't want to play for the Redskins anymore. I don't know. Good luck to him. Erinkoval, he's a defensive back I've never heard of. Michael Burton, he's a fullback we'd probably never use. Tony Bergstrom, an offensive lineman that is replacement level, so I understand getting rid of him. So, also, I want to talk about, we traded away Quinton Dunbar for a 5th-round pick. I'm just glad to be done with it. He's made a stink in the media, so I'm just glad to be moving on and not have to worry about him anymore. Don't have to worry about his problems. We can focus on guys that are here, not guys that don't want to be here. The next trouble we have to get rid of is Trent Williams. As soon as we do that, we'll be good to go to focus on the Washington Redskins and building a football team and building a winning culture. So now to talk about who we did sign. So these are a couple of re-signings. Brandon Sheriff, we franchise tagged. It's like $14.5 million. If you watched my video, I wasn't a big fan of re-signing him because I thought 16 million, or not re-signing him, but franchise tagging him because I thought it was going to be it's supposed to be like 16 million, but the salary cap came in a little lower than they anticipated. So I don't hate it. When healthy, he is an All-Pro. He's not an All-Pro. He's a Pro Bowler. So he's a good lineman. The problem I'm having with him, he's not durable. He's almost 30. So those are the problems I personally have with him. And it's very Redskin-like to drag something out where you're going to have 3 years of this. Last year was an issue because he wanted to re-sign an extension. This year we got a franchise tag. Next year we're going to have the same issue. So kind of gets annoying, but we'll see. But glad to have Brandon Sheriff. At the very least, he is a Pro Bowl caliber offensive lineman. So hopefully he has a better season than he did last year, and hopefully he can stay healthy. That's one of his biggest issues. Nate Orchard re-signed. Not really. I'm sorry. Brandon Sheriff was an A+ signing because it's Brandon Sheriff. He's a good player. I just didn't think he was worth the money if he's going to be injured all the time. That's my problem. Nate Orchard, linebacker. I mean, it is what it is. He had a couple good games, a couple good plays. But he really wasn't too much of an impact player. He had like one game where he made the game-winning sack. I think it was against the Carolina Panthers. Caleb Brantley, I think was injured most of last year, so I think signing him was like just a really financial benefit. And then the last re-signing of our free agents was John Bostick. John Bostick made sense because right now you have Cole Holcomb and Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster, don't know if he's recovered from his injury or not. We'll see. But if he's not recovered, that means you have Cole Holcomb on the roster. That's the only middle linebacker we have. Now, this was done prior to signing other middle linebackers. But so we're probably going to draft one. So we'd have had Cole Holcomb in a middle linebacker that we got like in the 4th or 5th round. And we probably didn't want to do that again. Last year, it was nice because Cole Holcomb was actually a very good player for us. So we got lucky in that regard. But John Bostick is basically a safety net. And it didn't cost us too much money. It didn't cost us an arm and a leg to get him. So, okay, so here's like all the signings. And I'm going to go to my other thing here. All the signings. So, in no particular order, I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom how I researched and looked them up. Payton Barbour and J.D. Mckissack are the two running backs that we signed. Payton Barbour, I think, could actually do pretty well on a team with a good offensive line. I don't think the Buccaneers focus too much on the run. Bruce Arians is more of a passing coach. Both of them are here to fill depth because we don't have any certainty in the health of our running backs right now. We have 3 running backs on our roster prior to these two being signed. Bryce Love, Darius Geis, and Adrian Peterson. All 3 of them are going to have something. Adrian Peterson's got age, so he's got attrition. His body could break down any minute. Okay, Geis has got his knees, and Bryce Love is coming off an injury from college. Now he could just had one freak accident, and then he could be good going forward. He could be our franchise running back, but we don't know that right now because he's spent a whole year being injured. So that's basically just to build depth of those positions. The Payton Barbour one is more the main feature back. The J.D. Mckissack is to kind of replace Chris Thompson. They're both not bad deals either. Like we got Barbour for $3 million. Mckissack wasn't very much either. So they're good team-friendly deals. Kevin Louise, Pierre Louise, and who's the other guy? Thomas Davis. Yeah, Thomas Davis. Signed him at middle linebacker. We got them because to help build depth for the linebacker. Thomas Davis is a culture hire. We hired him to help build culture in the locker room. I don't know Pierre Lewis. I don't know enough about him to say whether it's a good pickup or bad pickup. I know that both of them are just depth positions. Now, the one thing that Redskins have done in the past is we've not got enough depth and guys get injured, and we don't have enough guys going forward. So this was kind of a nice way of countering that to make sure we have depth. Even if the guys are older, they're still, I wouldn't say they're a slight bit above replacement level. They're good enough that they're on an NFL roster. They're going to be on an NFL roster. Cornelius Lucas was an offensive tackle that we signed. I give this one I didn't grade the last ones, did I? I'm not going to grade them. I'll grade these going forward. Cornelius Lucas, I give it an A. Because at the very least, if we get rid of Trent and we can't sign anyone, we have Cornelius Lucas at left tackle, who's played enough that he's adequate and he can get the job done for a year. We probably won't do that. What I think we're going to do is we're going to move Cornelius Lucas to right tackle, and I hope we get rid of Morgan Moses. I still hope in my heart of hearts we get rid of him. Can't stand him. I don't think he's a good player. But I give this signing an A. It wasn't very expensive, and we got a guy who has years of experience, and he's not overly old either. Richard Rogers, and Logan Thomas were the 2 tight ends that we signed. Both of them are kind of need to prove it. Richard Rodgers has had one good year, but he was playing with Aaron Rodgers at the time. So he's not. He's okay. He's talented enough to do the job. The problem is, I think we're going to draft 2 tight ends or at least 1 tight end, and there'll be the feature tight end. And he'll just get kind of he'll fall through the crack. He'll get enough playing time that he'll be relevant, but it won't be. He won't be our main tight end. He better not be, at least. Logan Thomas is a project. He's a quarterback converted to tight end. He had 200 yards receiving last year. We'll see. Maybe in the grand scheme of all that together, it turns out to be something good, because he can actually, with a team with really good wide receivers like we have, really good young ones, he might get more open. Maybe his quarterback doesn't look for tight ends very well. There's a lot of different factors that can go into why he doesn't do well. He could just be bad. We'll find out. But he didn't cost us a lot of money. A lot of these are low risk, high reward. Pay a little bit of money, see the upside, see what happens. Wes Switzer we got him from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, he has been, for most of his career, he's basically a replacement level. He bases a backup who's played a lot, because Atlanta can't keep their starters healthy. I like the fact that we got a guy that has experience. He can come in and play. If you're thinking we got him to replace Eric Flowers, you're mistaken. I think Wes Martin and Pierce Barker will replace Eric Flowers. But it is nice to have Wes Switzer as depth. He wasn't expensive. We spent $2 million a year on him. That's not that much. And he has a significant amount of experience, and he's also very young, so he still can grow into his potential. Kendall Fuller is probably our best offseason acquisition at this moment. Kendall Fuller, we got him for $10 million a year for 4 years. So $40 million contract. That one's an A+ to me, because now here's the thing. It's an A-. We'll get an A-. It's an A-, but if it's the only one we draft, it's a B. Because if he's the best player we sign, it's a B. Because we need better play. We still need better players. Logan Ryan's still out there. I'll go over that more here in a little bit. Sean Davis is a risk, but it's not much of a risk because we didn't spend a lot of money. Sean Davis is out of Maryland. He was drafted by the Steelers, and he played a decent amount, but he kept getting injured. And then last year, the Steelers traded for Micah Fitzpatrick. So going forward, they're like, okay, we don't need Sean Davis, so let's cut him. He can play well if he's playing like next to Landon Collins. Landon Collins is going to make him better. Okay, so I don't hate this. I think this one was probably an A- because it's very low risk, very high reward if it pans out. And in the last, not so much signing we did, but we traded for is Kyle Allen. This has the biggest implications of all of them, because this basically proves, a lot of people were concerned that we were going to get Jameis Winston and have him compete with Dwayne Haskins. We were going to trade for Cam Newton. All of those things were floating out there in the realm of Twitterverse or internet or whatever you want to call it, social media. Kyle Allen, trading for him basically tells Haskins, you're our guy. That's what that means. You brought in a guy who has some experience in this offense, but is definitely shown that he has some really bad tendencies and can play well in moments, but overall is not good enough. So this basically tells Haskins, you're our guy. You got to be out this guy. Okay, rather than be out Jameis Winston, who had the most passing yards in the league and 30 touchdowns last year, and 30 interceptions, but 30 touchdowns nonetheless. You got to compete with this guy who is a replacement level backup that we got for a 5th rounder. Some people complain that you probably could have got that guy for nothing because he's going to be cut. That might be true. That might be definitely true. You probably could have got him for almost nothing, but it is what it is. Keep my phone handy in case some news breaks. So yeah, those are all of our free agents. So far, I give our free agent a B-. We're getting a lot of depth. There's a lot of names on that list. There's over a dozen players that we've signed. We've built depth. The thing is, we have no boom or bust. And maybe that's what we're going for, is no more boom or bust. Where if it pans out, great. If it doesn't pan out, we wasted money. That might be what they're going for. Maybe that's their philosophy. I don't like that philosophy. I like going for big names and, take a chance. Take a risk. It's okay if you fail taking a risk, but it's not okay if you don't take risks at all and you just don't even take any attempts. So I want to go over real quickly the Washington Redskins cap situation. Right now we're at $36,439,301. That's how much money we have left to spend on players. Now I'm assuming that's including the guys we got yesterday. I'm looking to see if it's updated. Barbour. Okay, some guys' money may not be on here at the moment. Yeah, Payton Barbour is not on here at the moment, so it's not including his money or Sean Davis's. So, but as of their website, it says $36 million. Maybe it's included in there, and it's just not reflecting. I don't know. So Redskins still have some money they can make up. I do want to go over free agency real quick. All right, so I'm gonna go over every position. Some things are gonna be like, we don't need this position. I'll move on. Quarterback. Free agent quarterbacks, we don't need one. Running backs, we don't need one. I mean, I'll look. I don't think anyone's available we want. Melvin Gordon, but I'm pretty sure he just got signed. I need available. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's no one here that I would really go ham over. Don't think anyone here is good. Now, receiver. Robbie Anderson got signed yesterday. What's his name? Perriman got signed. Apparently, I heard a rumor Taylor Gabriel was kind of on our radar. Geronimo Allison. There's not too many receivers I would look for now. I mean, Funchess got signed as well. So there's not too many receivers out there that I would sign. I would just go with free agency. Taylor Gabriel would not be a bad option. Geronimo Alamo would not be a bad option either. I don't think that'd be a horrible option because you could probably get him for a decent amount or for not a lot of money. He did play with Aaron Rodgers, so he has some experience playing with good quarterback. Jordan Matthews is still a quarterback I kind of like, but I think he's past his kind of his era in the NFL. So there's not too many free agents I would go for. Geronimo Allison, what's his height? I'm a little curious how tall he is. Doesn't have height. He doesn't have height. Okay. Let me Google search him real quick. Height 6'3", not bad. So I think Geronimo Allison might be the best bet, especially because right now we're not spending a lot of money in free agency. So if we're going to go for another cheap receiver, get Geronimo Allison. He's at least 6'3". I know he can play. Is he the best? Obviously not, but we don't have a lot of options. So that's who I would go for. Him or Taylor Gabriel, but we don't need another speedster. We need someone with height, someone with some build. I think Geronimo Allison could do that. Okay, so tight end. Really, I wouldn't really go for many tight ends right now. Maybe Charles Clay wouldn't be a bad option. Yeah, I wouldn't go for J.P. Holtz because we played for us before, but it's a different system, so maybe the coach doesn't really care. Delaney Walker wouldn't be a great. I don't like the option. I just say go. I say get tight ends in the draft, and spend your money elsewhere. There's other positions we can fill. So I don't really think there's any tight ends we should get. J.P. Holtz, bring him in for cheap, see if he can make the team. Other than that, not really. Okay, so tackle. So there's still possibility of getting rid of Trent Williams is still out there. So if we get rid of Trent, we do need to replace him, whether it's going to be with Cornelius Lucas or with somebody else. I say go with Greg Robinson. You can probably get him on a good 3-year deal with a decent amount of money, maybe like $7-8 million a year, possibly. That's who I say. But there's also Jason Peters, who could probably get for one or 2 years, and next year we can worry about drafting a tackle for long-term usage. There's other tackles out here. There's Jermaine Ifida. But if you're gonna, it just depends on what your needs are. If you're gonna get rid of Trent Williams like right now, and you want to worry about just getting the position filled, Jason Peters is your best bet. You can get him on a 2-year contract for $8 million or 10. You can probably give him 10 for 1 year, just for 1 year. Maybe next year give him 8, whatever, and give him all guaranteed money this year, so on and so forth. Or you can go Greg Robinson and have it covered for the next 3 years, and then worry about replacing him in a couple years from now. So it's up to you. It just depends on how the Redskins want to do it. But I think that's your best bet. I'm trying to see if there's any other. Oh, I just did all tackles, didn't I? Yep, tackle. Okay. So that's why I would recommend Greg Robinson, or it's one of those two. It's if you go Greg Robinson, you're good for 3 years, 3 to 4 years, as long as he stays healthy, of course. Or you can go Jason Peters and be good for 1, maybe 2 years, and draft his replacement. So, it really just depends on how the Redskins want to play that. Guard, I'll look at guard just because we can never have too many guards. There really isn't a lot of good options. Ivan Boehm isn't bad. Cameron Tom, it's just depth guys. So there's no one here that I would really go out of the way to get. I'm gonna look at center for 2 seconds. I don't think we need a center. I think we have tons of options at center. There's no really. Evan Brown is cheap. He's going to be cheap because he's young, but no, wouldn't do that. So no, I'm not worried about defensive line. I'm worried about secondary. So let me bring up cornerback. Cornerback is a position I want us to at least add one more. There's one out there that I really want, Logan Ryan. Xavier Rhodes wouldn't be horrible, but I think he's in his decline for sure. Logan Ryan is the one I would go for. You can give him 3 years, give him a decent amount of money over 3 years. Guarantee a lot of it early, so you can get rid of him if he has decline, which he's going to have decline. Everyone has decline, but I would go with him. I would not go with Maurice Claiborne. Everyone wants Breland. I don't know if Breland wants to come back here or not. I'm not. There's no other ones here that I'm really hell bent on getting. That would be the one I want is Logan Ryan. I would not hate Xavier Rhodes. He's 30. He's not that old, and he still has some football left in him. So those are the two I would go with. We don't really need a safety, but I'll look at what safeties are available just in case we need depth. If it loads, my computer's being very slow today. There's still Eric Reed. People think I don't think Eric Reed's going to sign with Redskins. Not a lot of options. So, yeah, not a lot of options. Von Bell is still out there. I still say Von Bell would be one of the best options we have. He's definitely affordable. We can definitely get him on money that's good. And him and Davis can compete for that starting position. So, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. That's all I can say about that. So, if I'm the Washington Redskins GM right now, if I'm looking at how much money we have left right now, right now I have $36 million. So I can make some more money. Like literally, I have a thing I'm going to do right here. I can make some more money, and I'm gonna show how to do that really quick. And I'm gonna jump over to that right now. So, see. What is going on YouTube? Now I'm jumping on over to. I have a bunch of links open here, so we're gonna do all these links real quick. A bunch of these things. So, Redskins salary cap 2020, $36 million. Redskins can still make some salary cap room, and I'll show you how. If we were to cut Morgan Moses right there, Redskins now have $48 million. If we were to cut, trade or cut Trent Williams, cut Morgan Moses. Now we're up to $52 million. So we have $52 million we can still spend on players that we, definitely could use. Okay. So with this being said, I'm not going to mess with anything with Alex Smith. How much would it cost? So we can cut him, and I wouldn't do that. We traded him, that would be fine. We get a couple $1 million back. But let's just undo that. Okay, so let's say we cut Trent and we cut Morgan Moses. Let me see what it looks like if we trade Trent. I don't think there's any difference. It's the same thing. Okay, so it's not a big deal. So let's just say we cut him. This is why I want to cut Trent Williams. It's not that, we shouldn't get any value for him. I think we should get value for him. The only problem I'm having with that, per se, is the simple fact that he doesn't, we're not getting anything for the money we spend on him. I get you want to trade the player. I got in a huge debate with somebody on this yesterday, how we have to have good faith and have faith. I'm like, the guy didn't show up for his contract. He didn't show up for what he already agreed to. Why should we have good faith when he doesn't have anything? Okay, but this is not a video where I'm going to talk about that. So what I'm going to do is go over
the 3 positions we need to fill. So tight end, like I said, I wouldn't spend anything else in tight end. We already got a tight end. It didn't cost us very much. So you have Delaney Walker's available. I don't even know who Darren Fells is. Yeah, I'm not going to look that up. So there's no tight ends that I would go for right now, so just being honest. So not going to worry about tight ends. So let's go down to offensive tackle. Right now we need an offensive tackle. I'm going to see what Greg Robinson made last year. And Jason Peters has a value of $7.8 million for 1 year. If Greg Robinson, we sign him and we give him, he made not that much last year. He made 6.43. Let's just hypothetically say we sign him and we pay him. What's his name? Greg Robinson. Let's just say we sign Greg Robinson. We signed Greg Robinson to a 3-year deal worth. Nah, he's going to be worth more than that. He's going to be worth about probably $8 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And it'll be worth $8 million a year. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there'll probably be some bonuses in there. I'm just doing a rough guesstimate of how much we could spend on positions that we need right now. So let's say, extend. Okay, so let's say we add him to the roster. Oh, we still have $45 million. What do you know? We have a lot of money left over. Even if we didn't do that, let's just go Greg Robinson, and we overpaid to fill a position. Let's say we overpaid to fill a position of need right now. 3 years, and we give him $10 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a compulsion. I can't help it. I do this every single time I type out 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's say we give him $10 million a year for 3 years. And we do that. We still have tons of cap space left. So, am I saying we need to go get Greg Robinson? No. I'm saying if we get Greg Robinson and get rid of the other 2 guys, we still have plenty of money left over to do other things. So, let's just stick with the fact we got Greg Robinson or Jason Peters. We can give either one of them $10 million. Not really particular on which one. Okay? And then we go and look at cornerbacks. Okay? Logan Ryan right now, I really wish his market value would pop up. But I'll go off what it says. I might just Google that. Logan Ryan market value. Logan Ryan market value. 5 years, $69 million. So that's what? About $13 million a year? So sounds about right, but I wouldn't give him 5 years. I basically would guarantee the front half of his contract without any question at all. So right now he's making. I would give him $13 million. So let's go back to this real quick. I keep finding the wrong thing. Okay, Logan Ryan. So Logan Ryan. Let's look at this. Let's do 4-year. $60 million. $60 million. I mean that's way more than like we initially was thinking about. Let's just say it's 4-year, 13.5 or 13,005. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. $13,512 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 13,522 1, 2, 3. And I'm not worried about a guaranteed 1, 2, 3. Okay. And yeah, that would be what I would put him on. So that puts us at $30 million, and we can still sign a safety. We can still sign things. So that's a lot of money for both those players. But let's just stick with that for now. And then we're going to look at one more player. We'll look at what it says on here. Yeah. And then safety. If you look at safety real quick. Safety. If you want to add depth. We already looked at this. Von Bell is the last free agent I'm looking at. So I'm just going to go and click on it and look at his market value and then factor that into everything I'm doing right now. 4.5 million. So let's say we give him the top end of what he's worth based on this website. So Vaughn Bell. Let's give him a 5-year, $6 million. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nope. Don't want to do that. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The reason why I say 5 years is because he's young. Okay, let's say this year, because we have the money, we can give him 8. But every year after this, he makes 6, whatever. We still have $22 million, and we can fill 3 positions that we need. Okay? So, yeah, in cutting Morgan Moses doesn't hurt us, cutting Trevone Williams doesn't hurt us. And even if we did that, if we wanted to go get one more offensive lineman just to be safe, we still can go get Jason Peters and get Jason Peters on a 1-year deal. And we can give him a 1-year deal, all of his money guaranteed, for $8.5 million. 8, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. $8.5 million, 1-year deal, and we can probably give him an extra year. We still have $15 million left over. So the things that Redskins can do right now to be competitive are still available. We can still get Jason Peters, okay, who can very easily play the left tackle spot. Because we cut Trent, we'll have Robinson and Cornelius Lucas competing for the right tackle spot. Okay, I know they're both left tackles, but right tackle, left, you can play either. Vaughn Bell, safety. He will give competition to Sean Davis. And then Logan Ryan would be our other corner to complement and be on the other side of Kendall Fuller. And then we still have, what's his name in the slot? We still have Jimmy Moreland in the slot. So this is overspending for every position I just mentioned. His value is 7.8. His value was 4.5, and I doubled it. Logan Ryan's value is probably around 13.5. That's probably pretty accurate. Greg Robinson is probably around like 8. So there's definitely guys available we can get. We can put them on the roster, and we still have $15 million left over if we get injuries, and we got to get guys before free agency. And if we don't spend it, it rolls over to next year. Okay? So that is that. Now I want to go over one more thing on this. There's a bunch of mock drafts out, and I'm going to actually do one on here really fast. I'm not going to try to take that long to do it, but I want to go over a mock draft that was done. So this is I'm going to do 3 different ones. I'm going to look at 3 different ones. Pro Football Network, they say we go our needs are tight end, cornerback, edge rusher, so on and so forth. First round we draft Chase Young. That's pretty given. There is one in here that shows us trading down, which I don't think we're going to do. Based on the way things are looking, it doesn't look like we're going to trade down at all. Pick 66, we're going to take a tight end out of Notre Dame. Pick round 4, we're going to take a wide receiver out of Ohio State. We really like Ohio State receivers and players. We're going to take an offensive tackle out of South Carolina State, so I don't hate that. Getting some depth, but they're not going to play this year. Antonio Gibson, running back, wide receiver. That's kind of like our Chris Thompson-like player. Linebacker, Muhammad Berry, and then defensive line. I think we're missing a pick or 2 in here because this is not adding in all of our compensatory picks that we have been rewarded. So I don't think this one's very accurate, but I do like some of the picks that we had in there. So I'm going to get out of that one. This one is a mock draft, so this one shows what the Redskins do. It doesn't have any trade downs. So Chase Young, that's a given. Okay. Now, I think personally the Redskins should trade into the draft this year from give away a future draft pick to make sure they're good now. They have us trading our second pick trading our no, they don't. We don't have a second round pick. Never mind. I'm gonna see if we actually get a Washington. If they have us trading into this round. No, didn't think so. Okay, so 3rd round pick. I think we get an offensive tackle. Oh yeah, we get an offensive tackle. TCU, not a bad player. I know that. I recognize that name. He can definitely play. Do we have another 3rd round pick in this? I don't know the date on this, so I'm not going to check the date. I'm just looking through what they have us doing. 4th round, I think we have a couple 4th rounders. So we get a cornerback from Michigan. And we have another 4th rounder for sure. I'm positive of that. Gabriel Davis, wide receiver. A lot of wide receivers going on, and we haven't got a tight end yet in this draft. Maybe we're going to get him late. Colby Pinkinson. Not a bad tight end option, to be honest. If you're going to get a tight end in the 5th round, it might as well be one from Stanford. He's not a bad option. There's a lot of good athletic tight ends in this draft. Keep hiccuping. I think the Redskins are going to go after. And I don't think we have anything in the 6th round. Nope. And I think we have a 7th round pick. We get a linebacker out of California. I don't think that's anywhere near close to what our draft will be. Then I'll show the one where we trade down. So this one shows us trading down with, I don't know who. I think it's with the Miami Dolphins. We'll have number 2, and we get 2. Redskins get 2 of Dolphins day 3 day 1 picks. If we trade back, we get all 3 of them. I'm being honest. We get all 3 of them, or 2 of them, and a 2nd rounder at least. That's the way I think the Redskins should do that. But it has us trading back and getting Jeffrey Okudah, not a bad option. And getting an offensive lineman from Boise State, not a bad option. We can definitely use an offensive lineman. Wide receiver on day 2 in the 3rd round. And then we have some day 3 picks where we get 4th round. We got Thaddeus Moss, which I like. Another offensive lineman. They've had the same offensive lineman in both drafts that I've seen, so that's actually pretty consistent. So I like that. And then we get another cornerback, receiver, another offensive lineman. So that's that draft. Now I'm going to do my draft, where I'm not going to trade away our continue. So we have a lot of options for this pick. The best option for the Redskins, honestly, is to trade with Detroit. And Detroit, gives us like a 2nd round pick or something like that. And I mean, we could take Miami's pick, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the best player in the draft, defensive end, Chase Young, by far. Okay. So we're going to hit continue a few times. Skip 5 picks. Skip 5 picks. Okay. And skip 5 picks. Skip 5 picks. So right around when the 2nd round starts, I'm going to propose a trade. Well, they'll get my 2nd rounder in 2022. And I get their 2nd rounder and their 3rd rounder and their 6th rounder. See if they take the trade. Nope, they did not. They selected another player. Okay, so I'm going to try to go for the Colts now. Propose a trade. They're going to get my 2nd rounder in 2 years. I get their pick right now and their 2nd round pick in this round. I'm okay with that. Nope, they did not accept it. Son of a gun. Why? Okay, let's do one more. We're going to do one more. Okay. So I'm going to get my 1st rounder next year. I'll give them, I want their 2nd, their 3rd, and their 5th rounder. Damn it. Propose. I'm going to try one more time. If not, I'm just going to say piss on it, and I'm going to... I don't know that number. Okay, and I'll take their 2nd, 3rd, and their 6th. Did not accept. Okay, screw it. I'm not going to trade. I'm of the belief that we're going to get something for Trent, so I'm not going to be too mad about it. So 3rd round. Okay, so we have needs here. Tight end is a big need for the Washington Redskins. We just signed a bunch of offensive tackles. We don't really need a bunch of them. We have options when it comes to what we can get, but I also want to make sure that we don't miss out on some players that are available that could be best available at the time. So there's a lot of good options here. we could get a running back. We can get a whole bunch of options here. So we really just got to decide what the Redskins need. We need tight ends, so that's really a need. I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I don't care what they say about you can get them later. I'm gonna get what we need now. Actually, I will change that. I'm gonna trade back. I'm gonna get us an extra pick. So right now we have 1 third-round pick, 2 fourths. So I'm gonna trade back a couple spots and get another 4th and a 5th, or I can get those. I get 2 third-round picks. I'll get this one, 2 thirds and a 4th right now. It is a little bit further back than I anticipated, but it's okay. Now, we need to look at tight end. We just accumulated a couple more picks. Tight end, Albert Abunama. I cannot pronounce that guy's name. Save my life. So, we got 1 pick. Now, we got to look for other guys. What do we really need in the draft? If we want to draft offensive line depth, we can do that. Because we did draft Jason Peters, or we did sign Peters. Now, here's the guy that was in one of the mock drafts. So, him or Calvin Throckmorton, but I would rather go for the TCU guy, honestly. Or Charles wouldn't be too bad either. I'll go with Oregon. A+, good. Okay. So now we're in the 4th round. 4th round, we need to get a wide receiver. I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Tariq Black is not in the draft. I'm going to Google search that real quick. In draft. Okay, so I'm not going to draft him. I've been drafting him in my past drafts, but the problem is he's not in this draft. Kind of annoying, but there's a bunch of different receiver options. We need a big target, so I'm going to see what's available. And yeah, I'm doing a little bit of research right in the middle of a video, but I don't care. We need a big target receiver, someone who can move the sticks. I just need his height. 6'4". That ain't bad. Who's that? Antonio Gandy. How tall is this guy? We need a big possession receiver. That's the Charles Claypool. Yeah. 6'4". He's not bad either. He's not. I know him. He's definitely not 6'4". I think this guy from Kentucky is not very big either. 6'1". Yep, that's what I thought. Michael Pittman. I do like the name. The name sounds like he's going to be an All-Pro someday. But 6'4", yeah, it's not a bad option. So we definitely got options here. I don't want to draft anyone from there. So we have options. We can go with the Gandy Goldie Liberty, but he played for Liberty, so that negates his credibility to me. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman. Big physical receiver. We need a possession receiver. We need a jump ball guy. Offensive guard. We need to build a little bit more depth at offensive guard. There's no gems left. Let's see here. We're probably still going to draft a running back too. See if there's any other. There's still another receiver if we wanted to get another receiver. Basically, we're going to draft a lot of offensive talent. We can draft another tight end right now, but I have a different tight end in mind that I want to get. Zach Moss is actually a running back that I'm dying to put on this football team. I think he's the missing link to our running back core. I think that's what I'm going to go with right now. A+ across the board so far. Skip the next pick. So we're in the 4th round still. We don't need free safeties. It's saying we need these things because it doesn't know what we did in free agency. It's not reflecting that right now. So right now, I'm guessing Thaddeus Moss. I think we can wait one more pick to get Moss. So, what else do we want to get? I'm going to look and see what's the best available. We have receivers we can get. That's really the only thing available. I'm going to go get offensive line. Yeah, I'm going to get some offensive. I might get a cornerback. Let's get a cornerback. Oh, boy. Okay, so I think we're pretty solid at free safety. I don't know how many more I want to get because we have Sean Davis, we have um, Landon Collins, we have the guy we signed, Von Bell. So I don't know if we want to get any more because we also have decent backups, so we don't really need to spend a draft pick on that. But let's go with offensive guard. We'll go with the kid from we'll go with one of the Clemson players. We'll go with John Simpson. C minus. Damn, I was doing great until I got to that pick. All right, well, I'm going to go with who I wanted to get at tight end all along. Thaddeus Moss. Okay, so A minus. Good. Seventh round pick. We'll get cornerback. We're going to get just two defensive. Nah. Dang, this is tricky. Because I don't want to get another cornerback if I don't have to. I'm going to go Javarius Davis. And the last pick 15. We don't need an inside linebacker. We just signed like 4 of them. Outside linebacker, maybe. I could see us needing an outside linebacker. So who would I go with? I would go with Muhammad Berry, outside linebacker from Nebraska. So with our draft complete. So this would be the Washington Redskins draft. Like I said, I traded back and got a handful of picks. I still got Chase Young. And I still think we got guys we could use like right now. If we look over our entire defense, we have Chase Young starting at defensive end. We have Jonathan Allen will either play one of the ends or will play defensive tackle. We have Payne will play defensive tackle up the middle. And then we're going to have either Matt Ioannidis or Montez Sweat. I think Montez Sweat will probably play. He'll probably play outside linebacker, but he'll probably play defensive end in some positions. What they'll probably do is they'll probably rotate Jonathan Allen or Matt Ioannidis and Payne in the middle, and Jonathan Allen will play defensive end, and they'll rotate. It'll just be a rotation because and I didn't even go over this. We still haven't restructured Kerrigan yet. I doubt we're going to pay Kerrigan all the money he's owed. I really doubt that, or maybe we are because we know we're not spending a lot of money anyway. So what's the harm? And so that would be that. Our middle linebacker would be either Cole Holcomb or John Bostick. We have outside linebackers in Ryan Anderson. We have Montez Sweat. Those would be our outside linebackers. We also have at corner we would have Logan Ryan, and at the other corner we'd have Kendall Fuller. Coming in to play the nickel or the slot corner would be Jimmy Moreland. We have safeties. We have either Von Bell or Sean Davis, whoever wins that battle. Landon Collins. And then offensively is what I'm really excited about because offensively we have at left tackle we have Jason Peters. At left guard we have Wes Martin. At center we have Chase Roulier. Right guard we have Brandon Sheriff. At right tackle we have Greg Robinson. Quarterback, obviously Dwayne Haskins. Receiver, we have Terry McLaurin. We have so many receiving options. Terry McLaurin. We have Calvin Harmon. We also have Terry McLaurin, Calvin Harmon. Both the Sims guys. We have Trey Quinn. So we have 5 decent options there, and we drafted one in this draft with Michael Pittman. And then running back wise, we have a slew of running backs. Where if we have any kind of injuries across the board in our backfield, we have Zach Moss. We just drafted, healthy running back out of Utah, very solid runner. I personally like him. I think the Redskins will be stupid not to pick him up sometime in the 4th round. He's a day 2 prospect you can get in the 3rd or 4th round, or 4th or 5th round. We have depth at the offensive tackle. We have 2 tight ends we drafted that will probably end up starting over the crappy ones we signed in free agency. Thaddeus Moss, Albert Akowugabunam. Albert. Oh, there we go. We have John Simpson at guard, and we have some filler for Muhammad Berry, who actually I think will go higher than 7th round. I think that's really weird that he fell that far. And then Javarius Davis. So there's definitely options that the Redskins have, and we can fulfill those options, and we can definitely build depth and have put a pretty competitive team on the field this year. We do all the things right. But again, I'm not the GM. Um, I wish I was. I think I could. I really think this would be very solid for our team. But without any further ado, I'm gonna go flat. I'm done. This video is done. The grade is B minus. I don't really go off of that. The only thing I think I reached for was John Simpson. I probably could have got the different Clemson guard. I just went with the need right now. At that moment, we needed it, and I didn't think we wanted to draft Thaddeus Moss too early. But I think we got A pluses across the board all the way to that pick. So if we just do these things, we can get Thaddeus Moss young. He has a Jones fracture in his foot, so he'll probably be out this year. So we might not go with Thaddeus Moss. But that's my video. So let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to the draft every day. We're getting closer and closer to free agency being done. So let me know what you think the Redskins need to do. This is JD. This is Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. See ya.